Entrepreneurship and Innovation poster presentation by James Curran, Mercer and Stephen Payne. What does it mean to be entrepreneurial? There are many different interpretations of the entrepreneurial mindset. A few we've looked at, the 2003 Northern Ireland Entrepreneurship and Education Action Plan considers entrepreneurship to be the ability of an individual possessing a range of essential skills and attributes. They make a unique, innovative and creative contribution in the world of work, whether unemployment or self-employment. From Hard for Business, entrepreneurship is the pursuit of opportunity beyond the resources that you currently have. And according to Payne in 2015, a true entrepreneur is the one who can take the idea or the innovation, set up the business, launch it into the market and make it successful. For our conceptual framework for our project, we conducted primary research. We had a list of questions and we asked a couple of different businesses in the town that we found were successful and would be relatable to the poster presentation. Not all questions were asked, depending on the situation of the interview, and the questionnaire was drawn up in order to gather qualitative data. We went to Primrose on the Quay. We got a wee menu while we were there. We also went to Palace Pizza and a bit of pizza too. What we found from our primary research on Primrose on the Quay and Palace Pizza, some of the traits and characteristics of them is independent, risk-taking, sacrificial, humble, brave, passionate, highly motivated, technopreneurs, forward-thinking and risk-taking. In reference to our interview with Melanie Breslin, the Primrose owner, her own traits give us an insight into having the entrepreneurial mindset. She was independent in starting her own business, as it was just her and her husband starting the business originally. She was sacrificial in that her and her husband didn't have any periods of time away from the business within a 2-year period of initially setting it up. This was also the case with Paul McShane, the local entrepreneur of Palace Pizza, as he felt he lost some of the early years of his life because he set up the business when he was 19 and he didn't get to enjoy himself as much as he thought he could. We find that the entrepreneurs do not necessarily have to be inspired by other success stories and could be inspired by themselves and their own successes. Bravery was another trait illustrated on the interviews, with both owners not afraid to fail. This could be linked to risk-taking, with this being highly important to development and growth of a business, especially with the creation of new ideas and forward thinking to ultimately achieve success in the long term. We also felt that the modern day entrepreneur has to be technopreneur in a way, and that they have to use technology in order to gain an advantage on competitors. This could be the likes of a website or the use of social media. They have more interaction between themselves and their customers. This was a big help for the businesses interviewed, particularly through the likes on Facebook and Instagram, where customers can like and share and give feedback to the business on aspects of their business or service. We also found that they were both passionate and they both expressed passion for what they do in the business and they enjoyed what they do. Humble, Paul noted himself that the main trait he had that was important in an entrepreneur was to be humble, and they'd always stay grounded, and then most of his employees was all family and friends. Melanie was very similar, as her idea came from her mother and grandmother, as they provided her with recipes, and that she also has family working in the business as well, which allowed her to stay grounded. New perspectives of business enterprises, entrepreneurship, social enterprise and digital enterprise. Entrepreneurship can be known as an entrepreneur within a large organisation who has an entrepreneurial mindset but does not involve themselves with the same responsibility or risk-taking that will be done further up the organisation. An example of this would be Google's Innovation Time Off Entrepreneurship Program. Empowers and encourages their employees to spend 20% of their work time on projects that interest them and that they think will benefit the company and their customers. Social enterprise can be seen as being in a third economy, as organisations belong to neither the public or private sectors. These businesses would be not-for-profit organisations that could aim to benefit local communities or the government's interest. An example of that would be Invest NI, who put money into local entrepreneurs to start businesses in Northern Ireland, which in turn increases jobs and services in Northern Ireland. Digital enterprise is when an organisation uses technology as a competitive advantage in its internal and external operations. They have mobile apps like Facebook, Snapchat, so businesses use those to promote their products, similar to what Primrose on the Key and Palos would do. They use it through photos and videos of their products and services, and they get reviews back as well.
There are many different ways an individual can have innovation in business, such as follows. Everyone can innovate. Innovation means coming up with new ways of doing things, bringing innovation into your business, which can help you save time and money and get the competitive advantage to grow and adapt within your particular business marketplace. To contrast the two quotations here, with the second one being anything that is new, useful, and surprising, that last criteria, surprising, tends to surprise people because they usually don't hear many people talking about it. And great innovation are the simple ones which make you slap your forehead and say, why didn't I think of that? And that's from Drew Boyd from 2017. And the contrast between the two is the first quote from the government states that innovation allows your business to save time and money and allowing the business to grow, whilst the statement by Drew Boyd states that innovation is a surprise or an idea and will make a person think, why did they not think of that idea in the first place? This shows there are different ways of viewing innovation in business. From our primary research we carried out with Primrose and Palos, as they both showed aspects of these particular definitions of innovation. Within our primary research again, we had many examples of innovation. Both interviews included examples of these. Primrose found a niche market and there was no cafe selling homemade food within the dairy area that were to a high quality with outstanding customer service. Similar to Palos Pizzas, they were the first of their kind within dairy to dispatch pizza deliveries to their customers, adding a better overall customer experience. We looked for examples of innovation within the secondary market. We found Steve Jobs was the creator of new ideas and new products and new ideologies for Apple, creating the iPhone. And then we also looked at Richard Branson. He recreated Virgin's brand and expanded into Virgin Mobile, Virgin Atlantic, and Virgin Trains. And despite the contrast in size between our secondary research and our primary research, we discussed that there is a great degree of innovation in both, and the creation of new products and services to meet customers' demands is needed and should be included within the entrepreneurial mindset. Now we're just going to look at leadership. It's also an important factor in the entrepreneurial mindset. According to Harvard, leadership, the skill of motivating, guiding, and empowering a team towards a socially responsible vision. In reference to our primary research, Melanie from Primrose would have an autocratic approach. She would lead by example by showing up to work in the recre at the lowest level of the business at 6 AM every morning, inspiring our workers. In contrast to that, our other primary research, Paul, the Palos owner, has a laissez-faire approach in that he takes a step back from the business and allows others to implement their ideas into their daily operations. It reinforces that leadership is not about your title, it's about what you do when you're in that role. Facets model is a good representation of the modern day entrepreneur. The word facets is an acronym of the attributes of an entrepreneur devised by Bolton and Thompson in 2004. They include focus, advantage, creativity, ego, team, and social. Focus, Theopathetus quotes focus as being things to get and feel that is a good skill for the entrepreneur. He felt that this is a result of his upbringing. Advantage, entrepreneurs generally always pick a successful business idea, and by doing so, pick a business idea that is needed in the market. Creativity is where the talent that fuels entrepreneur. Without it, there would be no opportunities and no target to focus on. Ego allows entrepreneurs to meet challenges such as responsibility and courage. Team entrepreneurs value people for their abilities and skills and what they can bring to the business. In our research, an example would be Primrose, where Melanie has 2 different shops, and she puts staff based on their strengths to adapt to each shop, as each one deals with a different clientele. And then finally, social. An example of social entrepreneur is the .com generation of entrepreneurs such as Sergey Brin and Larry Page of Google and Bill and Melinda Gates are all referenced as giving away amounts of excess of $1 billion to give a good name to their business.
Developing the entrepreneurial mindset, it no longer is the psychological contract moving up the stable career ladders in one organisation. Today, individuals maximise life opportunities through human capital, i.e. changing jobs. Few organisations today offer certainty and job security, guarantee promotion. The entrepreneurial confidence is growing. This means that the mindset is developing over time, and there's been an increase over the last few years, particularly in the UK, where 608,000 businesses were started, and this was a new record. In terms of the definition of the entrepreneurial mindset, no one has a fixed definition of it, and the concept has evolved over time, and the different contexts will evoke different characteristics: commercial output, creativity, and entrepreneurship, as we've talked about already. In terms of the conceptual framework of entrepreneurship, we feel that the facets model is a good representation of the modern day entrepreneur and relates directly to the primary research that we carried out. In terms of the focus aspect of the framework, both entrepreneurs have great focus on what they're trying to achieve initially from the business and also in their expansion of the business. In terms of advantage, both entrepreneurs selected great business ideas and were able to do so by targeting markets that there was an opportunity to be success in. In terms of creativity, in terms of Primrose, Melanie we found to be creative as she was the first cafe in Derry to have all exclusive homemade foods with original recipes inspired by her grandmother, whereas Paul with Palace Pizzas, he innovated his branded delivery vans, which was unheard of in Derry at the time of this business introduction to the market. In relation to the eco part of the framework, Melanie deals with all customer feedback on all her social media platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and even TripAdvisor, by responding directly to customer complaints herself, and not trying to allow other employees to do it for her. She also takes responsibilities for her cafes, as she always ensures that the product and service provided by herself and all her staff are 100% before sending them out. In relation to the team aspect, an example of this would be in Primrose, where Melanie has two different shops and she puts staff based on their strengths to each shop, as each one deals with different clientele. Paul's planning to retire in the next 5 years and plans to allow the family members and his business to take over and expand. This shows that both the entrepreneurs see the business success as a team effort rather than just a relationship between the owner and staff. In terms of a social aspect, both entrepreneurs don't really have a social cause in terms of making huge donations to charities, like other big organisations like Google, Microsoft that we previously discussed. What we felt from the interviews with both owners that across their social entrepreneurship was to benefit the people of Derry, provide them with an excellent service, and their terms doing their town proud. So this is the conceptual framework of a modern day entrepreneur that the group has came up with. We produced this based on our primary and secondary research. We used aspects from the facets model itself and our own primary research to make the framework. We've decided to rank the different aspects of the modern day entrepreneur in terms of needs. What we believe is essential is placed at the bottom of the pyramid, and further up the pyramid, it can be seen as desirable. So at the lower end of the pyramid, we have passionate, creativity, risk-taking, teamwork, focus, and responsibility. Our mid-tier we would see as humble, sacrificial, and technopreneur. And at our top tier we would have leadership and social. To conclude, we hope that this conceptual framework that we have created can be used going forward for any new entrepreneurs looking to start up their own business. For any further queries on the presentation itself, please feel free to contact us via the contact details provided with the presentation.